Podcast starts at 19 seconds.
Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, a Black Men's podcast where various black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various black men's perspectives. I'm your host, G, and today we got James.
I'm just here not to get sued.
And probably will have other people come in at a later time. Now, with that being said, on your way in, make sure to hit that subscribe or that follow, depending on your platform. Make sure to check out the Clips channel, Fit the Description podcast over there on YouTube. We're also on Instagram. You can check that out over there too. And also the various different audio platforms. All the links will be down below. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start this episode. So before this episode starts, I want to start off by apologizing because I, which is my fault, forgot to hit the record button. So a lot of this first part, a big chunk of it, is not going to be here. But the good news is we get to just jump right away into the debate. So here you go. My bad. Won't make that mistake again. But let's go ahead and get into the episode. Also, with this episode, normally I go ahead and censor the first 15 minutes of it, but instead I'm only going to censor the first 10 minutes of this episode. So that's my warning to y'all. If y'all have kids, so you got 10 minutes. Then after that, all bets are off. So I already took up the first 2 minutes. Now you got 8 more minutes left. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Oh, I was a kid. I was definitely a kid. What does that got to do with anything, though? I'm not the one saying. I'm not the because I'm not the one sitting here saying, "Oh, LeBron James, I was in the '90s and the LeBron James is the best on the planet. LeBron James shit's gold."
I've never said that he's the best on the planet. I'm saying I would consider him the GOAT because of what he's done over a consistent period of time. I never said he's the greatest. I said from what I've watched from Kobe Bryant, who people say, and Michael Jordan, I said yes, Michael Jordan would get it by default because he's an icon. I feel like if you take away the icon status from Michael Jordan, the brand, Michael Jordan's brand helps him be the all-time GOAT. But I feel like
that is again, that is all a fucking statement.
LeBron James is
LeBron James.
And on the court, he's a GOAT.
Get the fuck, bro. You're saying that again because you appreciated watching that dude. But Michael Jordan.
No, I appreciated watching Michael Jordan as well. But yes, over time you could do analytics just like everybody in sports.
That's why I said. So what
you can say that he has no competition. You can listen to people talk and say Michael Jordan had no real competition. You got people who are smarter than me and you saying the same. Sometimes you're saying like that's me. No, you got people that are getting paid to say this. Like that's not a lie. You continue to act like what I'm saying is not true. Like you got people who are smarter than me and you as sports saying the same. Michael Jordan did not have the level of competition and that LeBron James has. So stop saying it like, oh well, that's your opinion. No,
it is your opinion because just as many people are gonna say LeBron James has all the competition and Michael didn't have any. The same goes for people that watch Michael Jordan play. They're gonna say, oh, he's got competition. LeBron James, they changed the game so much now. LeBron James doesn't have to have any competition. LeBron James is just the best. At the end of the day, bro, you just want. At the end of the day, bro, you want LeBron James to be the best. I get you, man. I said he's a great athlete, bro.
I don't want anything. I'm just stating at the end of the day, from what I've seen from 3 different eras of consistency. I love consistency. Everybody predicates greatness on different things. I agree with you on that, but I dedicate greatness off of consistency. And from what I've seen from LeBron James, that is greatness solidified because he's put the work in to be great and consistent. I don't got to hear about injuries and body and flu games and all that other bull. I don't want to hear it.
Yes,
I don't want to hear
there's
it.
always going to be another player like that, bro.
You get paid too much money to be
Sorry to
out
break
here.
your bubble,
Every
man.
player.
It's always
I
gonna
mean, say what you want about the bubble. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm not fighting you on anything, but like I said, I predicate because, like I said, if we don't predicate greatness on rings, so it doesn't have to do with rings, because I made that argument before. But because if we go rings, Aubrey already has 7. So technically, if we want to go rings, but then people say, oh well, that's just because, well, stop saying rings. Because yes, just like you said earlier, Bill Hustle has 11. Okay, so we don't go based off of rings. Scoring titles, we don't go based off of that because of whatever. Iconicness, everybody has an argument about that. So I go based off of how I started this conversation is consistency. That's why I think that he is, if not the GOAT, one of the GOATs. To me, consistency, longevity.
And again, that's what I said a while ago. It's all built on opinion. To you, LeBron James is the GOAT. I get it. But again, there will be other LeBron James in a few years. You never know, because the way that he's designed is by watching Kobe and Jordan. And he came in the same way, and there's more people coming in the same way as him. It's never going to change. It's just that right now, everybody's like, no. It's a big hot button issue. Because now everybody has to glorify who's the best. And those back in the day, nobody was ever talking about that. Everybody just watched the game and enjoyed it. Now there has to be some kind of status. And LeBron James did walk out and say, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. That ruined that for me completely. Because if you claim that you're the best, you're not. I don't give a how many points, that nigga can get 25,000 championships and get 11 billion points. He'll still be whack to me. But he's a great athlete. I won't deny you on that one. Totally. Man, this is fun. I felt a certain way when you took my statement earlier. Like, nope, I'm not here. Just occupying time. But yeah, you like the only person that I can literally argue with, and it's like just a good educational argument.
And that's what it should be.
Everybody else want to pull out a switchblade or something. You know what I'm saying? I gotta worry about walking to my car at night. You know?
I just feel like when it comes to basketball, yes, I'm more on the analytical side.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though I hate and I basically hate analytics, but there's enough information out there to prove, yes, the feeling, like I said to my other homie, the feeling that Jordan gave in the 90s, whether it be movies, TV, music, Jordan is, when you hear the word Jordan, you feel some type of way. People have named their kids after Jordan and Kobe. Even what Kobe did in the 2000s, it was iconic because of the time. And also, I feel like everything that LeBron James has done in 20 consistent years has been iconic. Yes. Do I feel like Jordan did it for about 10 years? Kobe did it for about maybe 12, but LeBron James has consistently done it he's been on the word of everybody's mouth, whether it be good or bad, for 19 consistent years. Yes, even before high school, but in the league, it's been 19 consistent years since he's been talking. And once he leaves the league, I guarantee you, Now, this is something I 110% believe with all my heart. The league will never be the same because there's nothing but foreign players, and that are literally at the top of everything. And the top five, and the top 5 players in the league right now are basically all foreign players. And the NBA does not want to make the face of the NBA a foreign person. That's why Ja was the next runner-up to become the face of the league. You saw what happened. Tatum is a good face, but he's not bankable. And their third option is Anthony Edwards, but Anthony Edwards has to win before LeBron James leaves. And I don't see that happening. So who do you have? You got Joker, you got Wemby, you got Giannis, you got Luka. These are people that are foreign people that are going to be potentially the face of the league. And American owners don't want that, because then that sends a bad message overseas to be like, well, you guys are right this whole time. Y'all are better than us. And once LBJ does leave and Steph Curry does leave and things like that, the league, I believe, is going to go through a hardship for about maybe 3 to 5 years on trying to figure out where they are until they get, just like you said.
You think so, though? Because, I mean, there are players out there. The problem is, it seems like a lot of them haven't grown up. They all want that fucking cool person image that most of these young dudes want. They want to be in trouble and fucking, but I mean, they're crazy, players. Like, they fucking can get down and ball, but their antics off the court keep them from anybody putting a spotlight on them. And that's crazy too, because most of y'all motherfuckers are supposed to have more stats than me. You know when the last time I got to watch a fucking basketball game was?
I mean, I watch basketball every day. I just love sports, though.
I dig sports too, but the chances of me getting a couple hours to sit down and watch a fucking basketball game, highly doubtful.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Even for the Super Bowl, I throw a Super Bowl party and spend 90% of the time cooking and fucking making sure everybody's good. I don't get to watch the game. I'll watch the commercials. Couple, watch here, there, but that's about it.
That's why I go to Super Bowl parties. I never host them.
I'm cool with it because I already put bets down on the game. So when I went to Vegas, so it is what it is. After that,
Current event for Trump is Snoop situation that everybody was tripping off of.
That is nowhere near current.
That's not current.
Yeah,
that
I
is
don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that shit wasn't even news when it came out.
Yeah.
Wasn't that long ago?
No. I mean, I would say the black community when
the black community was tripping. It was like 2, 3, like at least a good 3 weeks ago.
What did he do? What did Snoop do?
Not a fucking thing, bro. He went and made.
He didn't do anything. I'm the opposite. I'm not really tripping off of him, but everybody else is. So I'm just chiming in. I have no clue what you guys been talking about.
I'm trying to ask you what you were talking about when it comes to Snoop. I want to know.
Oh, everybody was upset because he performed for Trump, and about 2 or 3 years ago, he called everybody a sucker if they was to perform for him, and they got it on. He went on live and said you a buster and this, that, and the third if you perform for Trump, and then he turned around and he did perform for Trump this year.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you got people throwing like the Snoop on the stoop. You got people like on TikTok throwing it in the trash and stuff like that. It's been it's like 3 weeks ago. They're mad because they say he have enough money to where he could have turned it down. He didn't have to do it. Somebody else could have did it. And they just mad because they saying that he's a Trump supporter and all this stuff like that.
Well, other people did do it. Nelly was there. Who else was there?
He was I think he was the lead. I think he was the main person though.
Rick Ross was there. Yeah.
They're mad at him too.
I know.
Yes, who gives a fuck? I would not care if these black people were upset about me making money.
Exactly.
Because all they want
Yeah,
to do
seriously.
is bitch and complain about not
It's
having
about money
money.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, fuck off.
That's what I said. I said Snoop's about his money. I said it's not worry about that. But I mean, the only bad part is the fact that they did pull out that receipt where Snoop got on live and was saying that everybody's a buster if they perform for Trump and then turn around and then turn around and perform for him. That's a little different. But other than that, I don't give a crap. I feel like he about his money.
I love how people talk about bringing out receipts. What the fuck is that gonna do?
Nothing. But I
Receipts
mean,
only matter
it
for
just
poor
shows him
people.
contradicting. It just shows him
Receipts,
contradicting what he did. That's all.
receipts only matter for poor people.
Hmm.
Just let y'all know.
But it's not gonna stop the true Snoop Dogg fans from being Snoop Dogg fans. Like I'm a fan of Snoop Dogg. I don't care what he said about Trump 4 years ago about calling other people. So he called out other rappers for his form for Trump or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
You act like people can change their views in life. Like
That's what
maybe
I
he
said
did
too.
something that changed his mind, or maybe Trump called him and had a conversation and it changed his mind. Like people are weird about certain things. It's like, oh, somebody, you have to hate somebody. Like everybody's on that fucking Cat Williams shit. Like, oh, Cat told his truth. And nigga, shut the fuck up. Like some of the shit Cat said wasn't even true. So miss me with that bullshit. But you only hear negatives about something. You don't ever hear about everybody who called out Cat on interviews. And Cat ain't said a goddamn thing to any of them. But I do feel like Cat's gonna talk shit to these people, then hit them all in a talk shit. Don't go on a platform. Don't be a coward and talk shit. Nah, nigga, say this shit to my face. If you had a problem with me, say it to my face. Call me a forest to my face, and let's see whose jokes are land. Because I know Edge the Entertainer has said a lot of funny shit about Cat. Yeah, like that shit, nigga, you can go online and look up the shit that Cedric the Entertainer about Cat. It's funny as shit. And like he also said, if you come to say about me, nigga, we can talk about it, man to man. But Cat ain't doing that. So you's a bitch ass nigga to me to go on a platform. Yes, you made millions, but ask that shit about Snoop. Like, nigga, who gives a fuck what you say? Doesn't matter. People will praise
That's why
Cat.
I say a year from now, you're not even gonna be the same person. So that was my take on it when my auntie was tripping off of it when we were talking about it, and because she's super on everything anti-Trump without really doing any kind of research on anything.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's my whole inquiry. My thing is like even when she was on her Kamala trip and on her Kamala trip, I'm like, just give me anything. I'm like, I don't want to hear about her race. I don't want to hear about blank, blank, blank. I want to hear something that she's planned to do, something she's done. That's what I want to fucking hear. I don't want to hear, oh, she's a woman and this. I don't want to hear none of that shit. And so that's where I end up having arguments with. But like I said with the whole Snoop thing, like I said the same shit. You're not the same person you were a year ago. Shit changes, things happen, perceptions changes. Something could happen. Who knows? Who knows? That's things change all the time. That's why you got some white folks that look at black people a certain kind of way, and then some shit happens, and it changed their whole fucking perspective. Like, damn, they it's really not like that. But I don't know.
But at the same time, black people are so quick to judge other black people, which is bullshit too.
I'm still wondering.
But I don't like how people's perception of black people, how we're so quick to other black people. Like it just drives me insane. White people don't spend their time turning on other white people. It's like I said, we grew up watching men in drag and dresses and all kind of shit, and it was fine. Like I said, yes, I don't like Tyler Perry because of Tyler Perry. I don't like Tyler Perry because he's Dia. I don't like Tyler Perry because that motherfucker is a shite bastard. And the shit he does.
I get it though. I get when people get like that because I was embarrassed for the parent when I went to pick up some work for my daughter this evening. This lady came in there and I was embarrassed for our whole fucking race because she's in there, sit the fuck down, and just cussing out her kids in public in a fucking office, just saying some wild ass shit. Clean your nose. Don't nobody want no snotty ass nigga. You're in fucking a public facility with people ears around that can call CPS and everything else, and you just in there ghetto as shit. Like I can't stand that shit. That shit is ignorant to me. Like that's the only thing. Like I'm like, do you? If you want to be ghetto, fine, do you. But when you do shit like that, people tend to think that we all like that. And that's what bothers me. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about what you do. That doesn't concern me. That's just how I feel. But
it
like,
does,
right?
though. It does. Like their fucking image is the reason why. Like I said, people say that the media, it doesn't matter, but it's like these are the people. These are the white people. Like the white people, or just any race, looks at these people as an example for all of us. It might not concern you, but it's not like we're putting up fights to change it. Like I'll be like, I'm not, petitioning, Tyler Perry or anything. But it's like, I just feel like people need to have more conversation. And I'm not saying to care, but acknowledge like this is bullshit. Like, yes, the ghetto shit, it's just like, yes, even though it's not your place to say anything to this lady. I've been in situations like that. And I might have not said something directly to the mom, but I'll say something out loud like, damn, she ain't had to do all that. And people will laugh. And it's like how she feels about it. She want to say something to me, bitch, say something. Hell, I feel you that was unnecessary. You could have pulled that kid aside and been like, here's a napkin. Clean off your nose, it's all right, you're just a little dirty, whatever. You didn't have to go on a whole rant to be embarrassed and demean this child in front of everybody. Like, we've all been there with our moms or aunts or grandmas or whatever. And that shit's terrible. That shit is terrible. I fucking hate my aunt. I used to hate that shit. It's like she used to, all you gotta do is eat burgers and shit. Like, damn, nigga, it's Christmas. Like, you still talking to me like a fucking dog, and it's supposed to be a joyous day. Like, you just gave me presents, but you talk to me like I'm a fucking dog. Like, do you know what kind of mental fucking issues I have? Like, you're creating these issues, but be the first one to say that, I put a roof over your head, I did everything for you. Okay, but you didn't help my mental at the end of the day. Yes, you gave me food, you gave me shelter, but I hate to be a dick and say this, but that's what you're supposed to do. Like,
yeah, black parents, old school black parents have a bad habit. I didn't raise, I raised you like this.
I've never heard a white person say, I put a roof over your head and put food on the table. Nigga, that's the bare minimum of what you're supposed to do. You chose to have me. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, if I could have fed and clothed and fucking put a roof over my own head, and don't you woulda? I'm not fucking Macaulay Culkin. I'm not Richie Rich, motherfucker. I can't fucking, this ain't blank check, motherfucker. Like, I can't just put this shit on my, I would never look at my kids and be like, yeah, yes, they know that I pay bills, but they have jobs to where they get paid. If you want to buy your own shit, like, I'll buy what you need, but I damn sure ain't gonna keep buying what you give you an allowance. That doesn't make any sense.
Hello?
What?
You said an allowance doesn't make sense?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm saying that I give them allowance to buy what they
Oh,
want.
okay, my bad. I misheard you. Okay.
I'm not going to buy what you need and what you want and give you an allowance. That doesn't make sense.
That's what I be saying. Shit, I'm trying to get my wife one.
Okay, well, that's between you and your wife. I can't speak on that. Only, I mean, if she that's your relationship, you know.
It's just easier. It's just easier in my opinion. If you give everybody their own budget and you pay the bills, and then you don't have to worry about, hey, if you spend all your fun money, then your fun money is gone. Don't come looking at me. I still got my fun money. Just like
I'll put it to you like this, and this isn't me trying to be as blunt, but do you wife or do you and your wife consummate every so often? Fornicate, you know, because I don't know what I can say on this podcast.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Much as I would like to, no.
Okay,
But that's
well,
because
it still
I have a
happens.
problem.
So have you ever heard of that saying, the most expensive pussy is free pussy? So, yeah, when you think of what you're saying, think about that. You got in-house pussy, and that's the most expensive. It ain't going to change. It'd be cheaper to pay for it than it is to have it. So,
You know what? You
throw
ain't
that
lying
out
about
there.
that. That is most definitely, yeah. My homeboy actually was saying that a girl actually told him that he was like, "It's cheaper for you just to pay me and get it over with." She said that to that nigga like, if you to date me, oh, that's a lot. He was just like, give me a few dollars, we go, we'll go back to the crib, and just make it happen.
You literally hyped it up, so the invitations of doing now become to you. It's like I said, a man has to be all of the above. We have to be a doctor, we have to be a therapist, be a mechanic, we have to be a plumber, we have to be courteous, kind, all of the above. We have to be good nigga in the streets. We got to be a man. And like I said, I'm not saying we don't like when a man loves you, no matter what. Women are usually with you because you're doing something. She's not with you to be with you. It's like women fall out of love way faster than men because it's more of a give and take. It's like when men fall in love, we dedicate that love to that person. Like a woman, if you don't keep doing what you say you're gonna do, it's like I tell every dude this. Start something for like open up the door for your girl. Or like it was a dude on YouTube who did a statistic about that. Like open up the door for your girl a year. Every door, pull out every chair here. And then just magically stop after that year. And she'll feel some type of way. And he won't logically think like, well, he never used to do this. She got catered to for however much year. Now she's not getting catered to. And it's like I said, it's crazy. It's like you can do something for me, and if you stop doing it, it's like I'm not just gonna feel some type of way. It's like if you're like, okay, I'm a cook, and then you can cook for a year, and then be like, hey, I just don't feel like cooking. Yeah, I'm gonna be mad, but I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get some food. I'm not happy about it, but I love you, so there has to be a reason why you're not cooking, you know? I'm not just going to snap at you.
Isn't that what they say, that men are the only creatures on this planet that love unconditionally?
I think you just said that wrong, bro. You're talking about the Chris Rock thing where he said men are the only beings that's not loved unconditionally. Everything else comes before us.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. Even if you go biblical, it's obvious even if you go biblical, right?
Mhm.
When you all the responsibility is always on us, on
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Every last thing. Even Eve eating the apple was on us.
Yep.
He didn't get mad at Eve. He got he got mad at Adam for allowing Eve to manipulate him.
Yep.
It's like it's messed up. Like, truth be told, it's like probably the worst thing to be is a man, because all the responsibility of the world is on you. Every situation, it's on you. Everything is technically it's the man's fault. No matter what happens, it's just like your kids. When if some shit happened, your kids is fucked up, whatever reason, they automatically look at you. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah. True. I can't argue that one.
Yeah. And then they, like I said, they even speak on it. They got a little bit more detail, but they speak on it in that special book too. So, but I that's why I say I can't. Sometimes I can't always go biblical. I know a lot of people, especially when it comes to relationship, they try to put it in their favor, but put it in their favor. But if they really want to go biblical, they gonna really want to do that. Because then at the end of the day, I was having an argument with the homegirl. Like, that means when a man talk, you gonna have to learn how to sit down, and take it and be quiet. Technically, if you want to go biblical with everything, because that's what it's saying there.
Yep. Yeah, I think
that means you got to shut up when we talking to you. And I don't think you want the world to go fully biblical, my dear. That means you go. Females gonna have to learn to do the one thing they seem to never ever be able to do, which is shut up. Like, for real. Not to sound funny or nothing, but I mean, I say it to be funny, but I'm not saying it to be like misogynistic. I'm just keeping it 100.
I'm definitely gonna have to clip this one out. That's funny.
Hey, it's real shit. Tell me a female you can tell to shut up, and without the only way you could do it is you squeeze it in every now and then, kind of like bitch, right? You can't just call no woman no bitch. You gotta ease into it. You gotta every now and then you just be playing bitch for real, and then eventually it ain't no big deal. But you can't just out of nowhere just say that shit think it's gonna fly. No. That shit got to be gradually, strategically planned. Like, for real, for real.
Shout out to Too Short.
Exactly. They like the song so much they ain't even they call themselves bitch. What's my favorite? Oh shit. And be mad as hell if somebody call in one. Just don't make that shit makes absolutely no sense.
Well, you know what a girl told me not too long ago? It ain't even bitch anymore. They said what they hate now is being called cunt. That's the one.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that from some girls. I'm like, what the fuck?
I've never heard that ever.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I talked to a lot of females. Never heard that one.
I had a girl tell me the other day. Well, not the other day, but a while back. She's like, I don't care if you call me a bitch, just don't call me a cunt. Like, wow.
Which actually doesn't make any sense, because
not like that though.
Cunt is technically. My bad. He was talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, like, that word's not used. Like, yes,
right.
I even not want to be called that, but that's not an everyday term. Like, just like you said, each other bitches. Bitch, we going out tonight, but I call you a bitch, and like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're fucking up, I feel like I have every right to say it. But you and your girls call each other bitches for like 40 minutes on the phone. What the fuck we doing? I don't know, bitch. I don't know where we going, bitch. What time is it? Like, that's a litter. Like, it's just like those dudes who be like, just calling each other fucking nigga every 5 seconds. Like, yeah, I might say it, but it's rarely that I say it in, like, like back to back to back to back. Like I know dudes who are just saying religiously back. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm starting to feel, a little disrespected. Like you didn't have to say 14 times. Like you said 6 regular words and 14. I'm a little, that's a little offensive. But okay, you even had the audacity to say nigga 3 times back to back. Like I didn't hear you the first time. Like,
it can't be worse than my homegirl who I mean, I get it. Her only long relationship and only relationship all these years since she left high school has been with a black dude, and her kids is half black, but that literally she says it religiously. And it is kind of low key. I can see somebody like getting pissed off at her because she not only does she say it, she know how to use it in context. Like, it ain't like Cedric joke when he said his kids don't know how to cuss. No, this girl knows how to use it just like any other ninja. She just and it's like it's natural. So somebody from the outside looking in will probably get real pissed off at how many times it just slip out. She don't even. Sometimes she'll try not to, but it'll slip out because she's so damn used to saying ninja, ninja this, ninja please, and whatever else, ninja. You know what, my ninja? Like, so it's hard for her not to say it. But I get it because it's like when I learned about the C word. I could every other word was you know. Or I guess that's not bad to say on the podcast. Cause this, cause that.
Oh yeah.
Every other word was that, but I didn't even know the origin of. I didn't know the origins of the word. I didn't know what it was from. I just knew that's what all the kids was saying, and so that's what I was saying too.
And then you got checked, right?
No,
Oh,
never.
no, it's
I'm from
one of
Los
those
Angeles,
things
dude. I'm
that,
from Los Angeles, dude.
yeah, it's like I never understood that one either. I never understood cuz and blood. Like I'm not saying that back to back to back. I'm just not doing it. Like it sounds dumb as shit. Maybe if you were gang affiliated, then all right, right there. But a regular person that's not gang affiliated, you sound retarded.
Back then, it was just like saying my ninja is just like it was just there all the time.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was
I mean,
just
I can't say that. I mean, it's always been I get what you're saying, but it's just always been affiliated with gangs. It's like you would have had to have at least known that.
No, I
Like,
didn't. I was coming from.
oh,
I
okay.
had moved away. I had moved away when I was younger, and I was most predominantly. I was in Lake LA and Lancaster. So then when I came back to LA and I was in junior high,
So you ever heard that
um,
song
Yeah,
before?
wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
no, it wasn't.
Hold on,
No, I
hold
didn't.
on, hold on, hold on.
Before junior high, man, I was still playing with action figures, bro, and drawing and stuff. I wasn't. I rarely looked at music videos or anything until like later. I glanced at it a couple of times, but I was too busy playing karate. You know what I'm saying? I was too busy sparring. I was too busy. I was outside, and then when I wasn't outside, we was playing the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got wounds and stuff from falling out of trees and scraping my arm on the concrete riding bikes and shit. I wasn't on that shit at all.
I mean, it's not that you gotta be on it, but like I at least knew about it at that age.
Gang banging didn't exist to me, and the only thing we ever heard about was watch out for them skinheads.
I heard that too
That's it.
now,
Where
but
did
no.
you
live
live?
in?
Yeah.
That's it.
What
Lake
part of
You
LA.
live in Mobile,
yeah, fuck
Alabama?
that. What part
Lake
of LA?
LA.
What part of LA did you stay in? Lake LA ain't in LA.
No, no, no. When I moved back to LA, I was on I was right between the Brims and 6'5" and 6'7". I was like right in the middle. So
But
I
you
was kind of neutral.
nah, there ain't no
Okay.
neutral. Ain't
No,
no
but I said
neutral.
I was neutral, meaning
There ain't no
I
neutral.
cuz I went to
There ain't
school.
no
What I'm saying is I freely walked around across gauge and on the side of gauge that I was on. except for one time in the beginning when I got my shoelaces taken when I once again didn't know about the whole gang banging thing.
You got your
At least not
shoelaces?
on that level. Back then I thought it was.
I'm too exhausted. I'm not even about to fight this guy right now.
No. Back then I thought it was an adult thing. Back then I didn't know that people my age was in that, or I didn't know that stuff about that. I was in shirt.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You've never heard a rap song or seen any Boys to the Hood business? I could have totally had a conversation where you said you've seen all these movies.
Yeah,
right?
but at that point
And
and at that junction in my life, no. At that point in my life, I didn't watch stuff like that.
What junction was this? I'm just curious.
Like right before junior high, I didn't watch anything like that. Matter of fact, my homeboy introduced me to Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your gin and juice in the hood. Now, mind you, I thought it was kind of funny. I didn't think it was that funny, but all the movies that they referenced at the time of him showing it to me, I hadn't seen. I had to go back. I had to backtrack and watch those movies. Like I was I watched bad shit, but the bad shit I watched wasn't hood shit. It was some nasty shit. That was my problem. That's what I watched. But other than that, like I rarely for a long time I wasn't affiliated with any of that stuff. My brother died from gang violence, so they kept me away from a lot of that. They kept me away. That's why they shipped me to Lake LA to keep me away from it. So I didn't know shit about it until junior high, basically. So like just junior high, and I started knowing a little bit more, and then when they start shooting at the school, that's when I learned a lot of bit more. And that's how that shit played out. But for a minute, I was a late bloomer. Like I wasn't into nothing.
I would say this, okay, if that's the case, then a lot of stories that you've told over the time in these conversations, I'm not going to ask G to dig in the archives, aka Mr. Archive, but a lot of these stories are contradictions in, because a lot of these stories that you've talked about would have to be based off of somewhat of going or just understanding that period of time.
Right. And I have.
You didn't understand it.
Right. I didn't
How
understand.
can you know it if you didn't understand it?
I didn't know. I didn't know it until later. And then
Junior high is what, like 13 years old.
Huh?
Like,
junior high,
what, 11
I don't
13,
remember I don't remember my age, how old I was exactly.
I can tell you your age.
But
it's 11 to 13.
Yeah, because when you're 13, you should be in ninth grade, so you're going into high school. So
yes, 11 to 13.
No, I wasn't 11 to no night. So my junior high for me started. It was I know they changed it over the years. It's between 6th and 8th grade.
Yeah, so you're in ninth grade. You're going
and that's fine. That's 11 to 13.
Yeah.
Right. I could have been older too, because I was normally the older. I normally was the older kid, so I could have been older. I was always the oldest. I was always the older kid because I was moved around a lot.
Older.
You know, but
much older.
But like I say, I so anyway, I have been so early on. I didn't know about this stuff. I started gradually learning more and more, and then I start being in situations where I had no choice but to learn more. There's a bit but the early stages, no. I've been through some shit. I've been through hanging out with motherfuckers, and then motherfuckers jumping on me, making me fight the big homie, trying to tell me I'm from the set now because I fought people, because I fought them, and I'm like, no, I'm not fucking with that shit, so I've been through shit. I just said at the early stages. Huh?
What fucking gang was I? Oh, I'm just saying, bro. I'm born and raised in LA, and I ain't
Well,
never heard
put
of
it
a
this way:
gang.
I was hanging, I was, I was hanging out with them, I was hanging out with them, but they were in Lancaster, but they all claim I don't want to
I'm
say the
gonna be
hood on the
on.
podcast.
That doesn't count.
So,
We're talking about
no,
LA. We're
no,
talking about
their people, their people is from LA, but what I'm saying is they. So this what happened was they say you can't. You've been hanging with the hood niggas or some shit. I don't remember. It's been so long. I was so young.
Yeah. I get
Basically,
that.
because I was hanging out with them, they felt they felt I was obligated to be a part of their shit.
Well,
Okay.
okay. Yes. I get that part because you're going to be affiliated by association. Understand that part. In Lancaster, I get that part too. But you said born in LA. You said that on this podcast a lot.
Yeah, born in
But
LA.
then, but then you're telling me, again, like I said, LA native as well. In elementary school, I had homies gangbanging already. Off the porch, put on gangbanging, full on banging. You're
So
saying again, and you're throwing gauge and some real hot spot brims and shit.
yeah.
So how do you not
Well,
know?
what happens is for I'm the exception, not the rule. So I've been moved around so much. I've been moved around so much. I have a diverse experience because I have moments of being sheltered. I have moments of being sheltered where I couldn't do shit. Then I have moments of finally branching out and getting mad and getting out. But for a long time, I was sheltered before I learned about a whole lot of stuff. But I gradually learned it, or I chose not to associate myself with it, even when I was around it. So I've been around some serious stuff, right? Some stuff to where I can't even speak on it, but I've been around some serious stuff. But like I say, some stuff was just normal to me. For one, a lot of stuff was normal for me, kind of like how my how I was abused or whatever. Certain shit was just normal, but I was born in L.A. Was it Martin Luther King or was it no L.A. L.A. It was USC, I think. USC. I was born in LA. I stayed in LA all the way up until elementary school. Then I went to elementary school again when I moved. Then I came back. Then I moved again. Like I've been moved around a lot. And then my oldest brother got shot from gang violence. My older cousin got shot from gang violence. But when this stuff happened, I just knew they got shot. I didn't know why they got shot. I didn't know what was going on. And that my brother didn't live. My brother didn't live to see 20. I don't think.
But you're sitting
But
there saying you never got hit up. You're saying you
no,
never got you was
no,
because and you lived in the brims and
yeah,
you never got
no.
pressed.
I give you one better. I give you one better. My school was in the Brims. My junior high school was in Brims, but I was over. I was by 6'5", 6'7", and 6'0". And we was all in the school, cuz this, cuz that, cuz this, cuz that, and literally we was
Wait a
at
minute.
John Muir.
Wait a minute. You was about
John Muir is in
oh,
the Brims.
you was about to where the fuck did you live again?
I cannot disclose that on this podcast.
What city did you stay in?
LA. This is when I was in LA. When I was in junior high in LA, I
And
was
you
right in the
stayed by the
cusp.
6 O's
So there was there no. Now they weren't. There
off
was
of
just
Hyde
there were
Park. Off of
no.
Hyde
They
Park, right?
yeah yeah. There you go. So
That ain't
there's
LA.
huh.
That ain't really LA though.
No. What I'm saying is,
John
so
Mears
you
and
got the
Packers
click.
even first and foremost.
Okay,
That's where I'm
listen.
from.
You got the click six. You got the
So
click 6'7", right? So 6'7" is right there. They're developing, and then you got 6'5" hustlers. That I was closer to 6'5" hustlers, but 6'5" hustlers got along with 6'0". So you have some 6'0" niggas over there too. Then across gauge was brims. If you go if you go further down and go to that little park right there, it's a little park, and we call it the Brims Park because that's where you don't say it at. And over there, that's what before they got the police over there and make it look all nice. That was one of the scariest parks to go to. I went there a few times, still unoblivious, just not knowing shit and just walking along and just like whatever, feeling like as long as I praise the Lord, I don't have to worry about nothing. So I'm walking straight through the shit. Niggas is fighting and getting put on right there at the damn park as I'm walking by, and I'm just tripping off of them fighting. I'm not realizing the niggas is getting put on. Like this is like see, I was around the shit, but I didn't really understand it until later. So even though I could see it and I could hear it, I just I had tunnel vision. I'm not understanding what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I got uh family members who was on dope and stuff. I didn't know what was going on when I see the motherfucker pop out a pipe or whatever the hell or put some shit on in their nose. I didn't know at the time, but later on I knew what it was. So then I could backtrack and I could say, "Oh yeah, so and so did this, and so did this, and I was around this when this happened, and I was around this when that happened." But it's only been a few times when I've ever even when I had to be approached. And I'm real good. I'm real good at staying out the way, and I'm real good at not having to deal with certain shit. Even when I start clubbing, when I was clubbing, I was only at grown and sexy events. So I didn't have to deal with certain shit being at grown and sexy events. The couple of times I was at stuff with the so-called youngsters, I would see the shit. People done shot up the place. People done pulled out shit. Police done showed up. But I was always completely away from that shit. But majority of my time of being out and stuff like that was at grown and sexy. So like I say, I've been around the shit. I grew up in LA, especially most of my adulthood. It was in LA. I was born in LA. And I've been back and forth between LA, Van Nuys, Lancaster, Palmdale, and a few other places I just don't even freaking know the name of because I was constantly moved around. But you know what I'm saying? Like you just like I say, you as a kid, you just do shit and you just don't know. You know, because you just don't know. I was saying cuz this, cuz that, and I didn't realize it was I didn't know it was affiliated with gang. It's kind of like New Yorkers when they used to say blood, young blood, but they young blood it was different from the young blood from L.A. I didn't know that when I start seeing New York shit with young blood this and I'm like they not bloods. That's just how they talk. I'm like, huh? So like I say, it's just one of those things
That's another
where
form of saying young man. That's what that means.
yeah,
Like that's
right.
not even of the same caliber. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to be talking. You can talk.
No, 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 you good. No, I'm just saying that's how I had confusion. That was just a good example of how I had confusion on cuz just being a regular word. I didn't know that to say cuz you was supposed to be from the set or you was supposed to be this. I didn't know that. It was just a regular word to me. And I even hung around a shit ton of gangbangers, and at the time I either didn't know or when I did know, it didn't matter because we kind of low key grew up together. So it was like it was no big deal, you know. So I mean, I knew more Crips though than Brims. I knew a few Brims, but I didn't Brims and stuff. But I knew more Crips, different sets because of not only because of my neighborhood, but because of my family. But a few Bloods here and there too.
Man,
But
that is a very
What?
hey, you asked, man. I'm just telling you. You said
well,
how?
again, because I mean, hey, man, I can't I can't take away from what you're saying because is what you're saying, but I've never heard a story like that before. I've never heard anybody. Okay, because from which my geography may be kind of rusty, but what you're saying, first of all, you said 5'7" and 6'5", right?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
6'7" and 6'5".
That's a lot. Okay, so it wasn't no 5'7", but 6'5" and 6'7".
Yeah.
So, but you off of gauge. So basically, you stayed over by the Slauson.
Yeah. I used to walk there.
And you used to walk to the Slauson.
Come through the back. Yep. I used to cut through that park I said that you shouldn't go to.
You fucking never got pressed. You never got.
What was your age?
Huh?
When you used to like, what was your age? Or
when I used to, because my church is literally next door to the Slauson swap meet.
I don't care about none of that. What was the year?
So, it had to be like 21, 22. Maybe.
I gotta call both.
20, 21, 22. Yeah. 20, 21, 22 maybe, or.
And you never, because I used to stay on Hoover.
Well, no. You know what? I didn't start walking over there until maybe, I'll say a good 5 years. So maybe 20. No, that's too late because we're in 24. It was like I'll say like when I start walking over there, it was like the end of close to the end of junior high, the beginning of high school. When I start walking over there, then I moved again.
What year was that? I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember.
Like in the early 2000s, I used to be on Hoover, and I literally had to throw away chat to go to the store and get blue shoes. That's how bad it was. So whether it be the late 90s or the early 2000s, I couldn't walk down the street wearing red. So, and I was told this because I was not gang affiliated, but I used to visit my mom over and she was staying on whatever Hoover, I don't know, 100 and something Hoover, like deep in the thick of the bullshit.
Hell no, I am not going over there. The fuck?
Like I said, I grew up with the summer for like 4 years. That's why I used to go through my summers. And I didn't fuck with it as long as. So then we went to Universal Studios. And if you know anything about Universal Studios, why they too far from that? I couldn't even get the fuck out the car. So what you're saying is just, and you've never been approached. Like I've been approached multiple times.
I could count on one hand how many times. But one thing too. Once I was educated about myself.
That's the point that we're trying to make, though.
Oh, I can't even hear you. I can't hear you. My bad. I didn't even know you were still talking.
You're low.
I can't hear you.
You're low. Yeah, you're really low.
You're really low.
Can you hear me now or no?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I said that's the point that they're trying to make, is that you knew about gang stuff when you were young, saying that you didn't. Like that's the biggest. Like that's what we're trying to get. Like we're trying to narrow it down, because you're saying that I didn't know nothing about gangs, but or the opposite. Like I knew. Like I don't get. What
okay, I'll say it like this. I understand what he's saying. He's confused on. What it is at some point and within my history, I didn't know the details about gangbanging. I knew gangbanging exists, but I didn't know enough about it. Meaning, I didn't know that there was kids affiliated with gangbanging in my junior high, and I was talking to them. And so I didn't know that existed. I knew that gangbanging existed.
I would imagine. I said knowing gangbanging exists is kind of like a full battle.
Say that again. You're low again.
I get what you. I understand what he's trying to say, in so many words. But it's just I get where the confusion is. But I would basically put it this way: I was sheltered at some point in my life. During that time of being sheltered, I knew gangbanging exists, but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was present because my focus wasn't on that. It wasn't there. And no, I didn't get pressed. It's only a handful of times. It's only a handful of times. I can count on one hand how many times I actually got pressed. And also once I learned about it, it was I made sure not to be pressed. I knew how to operate so I wouldn't have to be affiliated in those situations because I didn't put myself in those kind of situations most of the time. And when I was around certain stuff, I made sure not to do stuff like I knew where not to wear blue and I knew where not to wear red. But truth be told, I wore neutral colors because that's how my parents, my guardian, whatever, would tell me they wouldn't let me wear red because they were gang related. They would let me wear blue because everybody wear blue for the most part. I just couldn't wear a loud ass blue, stuff like that. But like for a minute, like I say, it was just one of those things where stuff was happening. But you know what I'm saying? I ain't paying. I'm playing with my action figures, or I'm fucking climbing trees. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Shoot, for a long time, my grandmother wouldn't let me leave the block. I had to go back and forth. I couldn't even go to the corner of Gage. Matter of fact, I couldn't. Gage is on the corner, and I couldn't go to that Gage corner. I had to stop at the house closest to the corner, and come back to the other corner. But I could not go all the way to Gage. And funny, what's funny too is somebody pulled up one day when I was out there playing. This is how oblivious I was. Dude pulled up, started talking to somebody. I didn't think nothing of it. It was the neighbors. I'm just looking. Everybody doing stuff across. I couldn't cross the street, so I'm looking at the other kids playing across the street. I wasn't allowed to cross the street, so I'm just looking. And pop pop, and then the car drove off. Now I'm sitting there just looking at everybody running, jumping, going at it, and I didn't know what was going on at the time. But for some reason, but my body did. My mind didn't know what was going on, but my body did. So my body kind of froze, and I'm kind of just looking around like, why is everybody running and shit? And then I got in the house, and then I realized what happened, and then I soiled myself once I realized what happened, but I was oblivious to it. Like that's how far gone I was. So it was there, but I personally wasn't paying attention to it, if that makes sense. Like I just wasn't paying attention to it. Like I said, motherfuckers are shooting and everybody is ducking, and I'm sitting there like a dumbass trying to figure out why the hell everybody running around and I'm stuck. But my body, I guess, reacted to the sound, even though I didn't know what happened. True story.
Do you want to...
Embarrassing story because I peed on myself.
I just want to say this. Even for me, do you understand what you said is so crazy for me? I am the only person on this podcast that is literally not from LA. And even what you're saying is like wild to me.
That's what happened. I remember I was standing right there. I was standing right there in the grass. I'm
not talking about that. I'm talking about you say that you don't know nothing about game banging.
Oh yeah,
wild to me. Like, I'm not from LA. That's why usually when LA conversations happen, I stay quiet. I'm not from there.
Right.
I don't know nothing. Well, I take that back. I don't know. I didn't really start even learning, like really get into game banging like that until I was about 15. Mm-hmm. And even I knew about a lot of that shit.
And like I say, it's because you know when I think I talked to Keith before. And when I was talking to him, he was like, "You act like your childhood was this, that, and the third." And it's just like I could write a book, bro. Like because of being moved around so much, I have a shit ton of weird ass experiences sprinkled everywhere. because I was never in one place long enough. It was even hard to keep. It's low key was hard to keep long term friendships and relationships because I was switching schools every year.
Hey
You know
man,
what I'm saying?
all I gotta say,
So
man, all I gotta say, man, your book would never be as good as James. That's all I gotta say.
of course not. For one, he has a lot more years of experience. This nigga's older than all of us.
Oh, that has nothing to do with that.
You know, this nigga's older. This nigga's older than all of us. He's got a lot more. He's got a whole lot of different perspectives. He got the growing up in LA's perspective. He got the business perspective. He got being in some shit perspective, doing certain stuff that another reason why I don't get what didn't get pressed as much is because of just certain shit I didn't do. And just
Dude,
certain
I
shit
didn't
I
do
want.
shit and I got pressed. What are you talking about? Certain shit. I was literally walking home and I got pressed.
How many times? I'm talking about time. I'm talking about times. It's only been so many times I've been impressed. Plus, I was always pretty much a built dude. Like, yeah, I'm chunky now, but I was the when I went to Lock, they had to put me on varsity and JV. Like I was a big dude and muscular dude. I'm like Terry Crew. I'm not a mean, rough dude like that. But you wouldn't know that from looking at me. I've always been a big muscular dude. My first day at Lock, this dude hit me. I couldn't tell who he was because the crowd was so big, but he hit me with his shoulder hard as fuck. And I guess he called himself trying to press up on me then. But when I turned around, I ain't see nobody. But I'm guessing he did it because of my size, because I was new to the school and didn't know nobody. It was literally my first day. But that could be another reason why niggas really didn't approach me like that. I think Keith said he was big too growing up. So
Oh
maybe
yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah, so
No,
maybe that
I can
helped.
tell you. No,
Maybe that,
I could tell you that. I didn't know. Ain't nobody
right.
pressing Keith. That ain't gonna happen.
Hey,
Ain't
When
Keith.
nobody pressing Keith. Ain't nobody
Hey,
pressing Keith.
Keith.
I don't
Keith.
know if he's, I don't know if he's still here.
Oh, he's still here.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
probably doing something. Well, we'll get back to
But
it.
yeah, but like,
What's up?
okay, yeah. So
Yeah, wait,
he's a
no,
big he's a big dude.
wait. Go ahead,
So he
James.
No, I was just saying, is Keith on here?
Yeah, he's on here now.
yeah. All I'm saying is he
I
a
don't
big
give a
dude,
shit.
so he'll understand. Like not a lot of people, but he fought a lot more because his aggression level is a little different than mine. But not a lot. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people tried to approach him, except for other people that felt that they wanted to test him because test them or whatever. But when you stocky built, you really don't people don't really bother you that much. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of experience I had. Every now and then I had to deal with it, but a lot of times I didn't have to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think Keith don't even understand what pressing is. He probably think that's just some gay shit.
Yes, he know what that is.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Bang dong,
it's like,
bang dong. Like what set you
no, but
from?
No.
I'll
Go
put it to
ahead,
you like
Keith.
this. It's not a time period since I've been 6 foot since 6th grade. So it's not a time period where people I'm more fear perspective than nobody ever tried to I'll put it like this, that and the handful of people that have ever tried to do something to me, as soon as I caught them and confronted them, it's pretty much it. So it's I can't really say yeah, I was a big dude. I'm still a big dude. Even now, it's like I know where if I were to get like I said, I got maybe one or two good fights in me, and that's pushing it. So yeah, I'm not gonna ever say that, I would kick somebody's ass now. I use my size to my advantage 100% now. But if it comes down to it, like I said, I got one or two good fights in me, saving them for when I really need to. But till then, you fucking say something to me, I know too many. I've taken too many fucking security classes to put or put you in a fucking chokehold to where you'll pass out. I might not fight you, but I'll fucking
Right.
choke the shit out you. Now that's one thing.
Hey, yo, Keith,
Right.
you said you stayed off Hoover?
Yeah.
Hoover and what?
Yeah.
Hoover
I
and what?
don't remember. I've been gonna lie to you, man. I was so young. I do not remember. I
Okay.
do not remember.
Yeah, my son's
I
mother
would
was
have to
from Hoover Forest
call my
Midget.
mom. I would have to call my. I don't feel like talking to her right now, but I
Yeah.
will get the information and I will.
Oh, shit. I'm trying to see how close we stayed to each other.
Yeah, that shit was. That shit was. You want to talk about gunshots at night, bars on the window? That shit was rough.
Yeah.
Fucking rough.
That's why I'm interested that Keys was literally I don't know, man. I
Man, you know what? You know my grandma would say something, but I don't want nobody to get triggered by it, so I ain't gonna say it.
that's just
But
unheard of.
Yeah.
yeah, like I'll just say it. My grandma would say by the grace of God. But I mean, I just told you I went to fucking lock.
That's why
You
again,
know,
but you said you had no understanding of the word cuz and
yeah,
you stayed over there. But
mhm.
now you're saying you did because all of the people getting murdered and shit like that around you. But you
No,
did
what I said in the
you didn't.
beginning, what I'm saying is when I used it religiously, me personally, every other word, it was to the point of that was my regular vocabulary. It was a noun, like motherfucker. Okay, I use it all the time, and people who talk to me now, who didn't know me from back then, would be surprised to know that I would talk like that. So I
Yeah, I
talk
get
like
that.
yeah.
But
So
where you stayed at, that made sense why you would talk like that because everybody fucking talked like that.
exactly,
Because
exactly.
everybody banged over there or was hood adjacent enough to fucking be affiliated.
Right, but I wasn't. I was staying with my grandma. My grandma, it was just
That's
me and
irrelevant.
my right. It was
That's
just me and
irrelevant.
my grandma. Right, but it was just me and my grandma at that time, right? At that time frame, it was just me and my grandma. There was no other body else that stayed with us. The other people that was around on the block, like I said, for a minute, I couldn't leave from in front of the house. That's it. I
Yeah,
couldn't
but
go around the
again,
corner.
that's understandable too. But the
Yeah.
second you go to school, everything is different.
Once I went to school, it's not like motherfuckers was talking about gang banging. We,
How the fuck was it not?
they wasn't. They was not. They was not.
What?
And then on top of that, like I was a shy. I guess it probably helped because I was a shy kid for at first before I start fighting. I was a shy kid before I start fighting. I really didn't. I really wasn't into certain. I was into karate. That was my thing. I like the karate. I like martial arts. I wasn't into hood movies or none of that shit. Like I wasn't. I just wasn't. I wasn't into it like that.
But you
I
was
I don't.
around people enough that said the word cuz for you to be like,
Right.
interesting.
Imagine you've never know anything about gang banging and you just start going around a group of kids and they just saying cuz, but they never
No,
giving you the context of what it
I don't have,
is.
I don't have to imagine it. I lived it. Again, I
Right.
told you I'm a LA native. I know what the
Right.
fuck it is. And
I
I
didn't
know
know what
how
it meant.
fast I understood get what gangbanging was. But you
Right.
lived in the heart of the hood and you're saying you was just oblivious. You just walking around like doo, 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 doo.
Yeah. I was focused. You know what? My I was always focused on if I'm gonna move again. I was always focused on other life stresses and
You know
shit.
that's what
Like,
breeds gangbangers, right?
huh?
You know that's what breeds gangbangers, right?
Yeah, my dad always says it's a blessing that that I didn't gangbang. I'm not gangbanging, and I don't do drugs. He always tell me that. He's always told me that because I don't do none of that. I haven't, but yeah, people have told me based off of my life experiences that's normally what that leads to, especially the whole outcast of the family thing too. Outcast of at least the side that actually got something going on. But anyway, I want to get into that. The whole thing is I was around it, but I didn't fucking know.
No, you were around it, 100%
Yeah.
around it, affiliated in it, everything. But you saying you was just oblivious to it, I guess.
Yeah. I remember. Look, I remember it like it was yesterday. I had moved away and I came back. I moved away. I went to John Muir. I think I moved. I moved so many times it's really difficult. But at some point I moved again. I went back to Lancaster or Valley or Lake LA, whatever, and then I came back. And when I came back, I had like some white boy jeans, like those big ass fucking, them big ass jeans with all the fucking pockets. I don't know if you remember those jeans, but I had some of those on, and I had on some Chucks, and the style at the school was Chucks and fat laces. Now, once again, I'm oblivious to this. This is proof that I'm oblivious to it. I had on blue Chuck Taylors with blue fat laces, and I walked over to the store in Brim's Hood and got my shoes taken from me because he said I cannot let you walk down the street like that. And instead of bulking up at the dude, when I looked that side, I saw them niggas. I gave my fucking shoelaces, and then I fucking threw my shoes because I was pissed off. So that's to let you know how oblivious I was to the whole game banging thing. Even though I was around it, I just didn't know. I didn't know. I was oblivious to it.
What?
Trust me. Once I knew,
your shoes or your shoelaces?
He took my shoelaces and I threw my shoes.
Why
And he walked off. He rode off on his bike with my shoelaces, and I took my shoes and I threw my shoes because I was pissed off because I felt helpless.
That's the
I didn't like feeling
I've
helpless.
never heard in my life.
Huh?
That is the lightest press I've ever heard in my life, bro.
Yeah.
And you was over in the hood. If you'd have been over by me,
I can tell you. I can
they
tell
would
you
have
the
beat the
street,
shit
bro.
out of you.
Look, it was on this. It's on Gage and Normandy. I can tell you where the store is. It's about two. It's about 2 blocks. It's about maybe a block and a half to 2 blocks from Gage and Normandy. That's where the store is. It's right there on that street. And if you continue down that street, you go run into that park I told you. That's in Brim's Hood, off of Gage.
Okay, but what color were your shoelaces?
Huh? I just told you, blue.
Yeah,
I just told you. I have fat blue laces with blue Chuck Taylors on, and some white boy jeans.
So you mean to tell me you sat there and watched you take out your shoelaces and you handed him
No,
shoelaces?
I gave them to him. No, I gave them to him.
Okay, but you still had to undo them.
Yeah. It didn't take much for me to do it. I had the way I did back then, the way you did your laces, you did them like you wanted them to all go over kind of like when you got skater shoes. You wanted them to all kind of go over in a certain style. And I had them in that style. And it really wasn't nothing to pull them out. And I pulled them out.
I a game of
Yeah. Well, this the thought went through my mind. So the thought with my mind was to fight this dude. But then I looked outside and I didn't know none of those people outside, and they all seemed to know him. So I just took my damn shoelaces off.
What do you mean? Look out.
Huh?
You're low again, Keith. You're low again.
What did he say?
Oh no, I could barely hear him too.
Fuck, I can't hear him.
Yeah.
Well, he's not saying anything else now, but I'm pretty sure he was questioning. You said you looked outside. Thought you were already outside.
Yeah. No. Remember, I said I went to the store. I went to the store right there.
And
it's a store right there.
You said homeboy. You said you threw the shoes. So you threw the shoes in the store, and then homeboy.
No. I threw my shoes when I walked away. So I went to the store. I went inside the store. He pressed up on me inside the store. Okay, I gave him my shoelaces. This fool got on his bike, had him put my shoelaces on the front of his on the front of his bike, and he read off, and he called himself giving me a pass. That's what he called himself doing. And so he said, "I'm gonna just take your laces."
That's
And the
the
motherfucker
quietest
and the
press.
motherfucker took my laces. And then here's the store, and here's the other corner. By the time I got to the other corner of the across from the store, I just fucking threw my fucking shoes, pissed off because I felt helpless. So I threw my shoes, and I'll end up walking home with my shoes off. I ended up walking home back across Gage with my shoes off because I was pissed. Pissed off. I had threw my shoes so fucking far. I threw one in the street, and I think the other one, I don't know, over some gate somewhere. I was pissed because I felt helpless. I didn't like feeling helpless. So I was highly upset. But that was when I started learning more about gangbanging. At that point, before that happened, I was oblivious to it. I was around it, but I didn't know I didn't know you know I didn't know people my age was gangbanging. I didn't know shit. I didn't know shit. Like I say, fat blue laces and blue chucks, and I'm going off in the brims. There is no way. Once I learned about gangbanging, there is no way I would have went over there like that. And this was literally just a cross gauge. So I'm on the other side of gauge. I'm literally on the fucking. I'm on the line, bro.
You
I
got
was on the line. One side was brims. The other side, you know, what's over here. I already said it. So
you got you got blue chucks on and
yeah.
blue laces. That again, that was the politest press I've ever, because
Yeah.
I've never heard of a dude taking the laces out of blue chucks and not just taking the. I've never heard of you not getting stolen. Honestly,
Well, one he probably did it because when he pressed up on me, you could clearly see I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
that doesn't matter because
Yeah,
the first question is, where you from?
yeah,
And your answer was, huh? And then
yeah.
usually back in those days, that would have got you hit. But
Right. So,
but he gave you a pass,
uh,
and you sat there, and he said, "I can't let you leave with them shoelaces."
mhm,
And you were oblivious about gangbanging, and your next
yeah,
response wasn't why. You just said,
yeah,
"Okay, I'm gonna take these off," but
yeah.
you
I
didn't know
mean,
why you were taking them off.
we had our little words or whatever. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't as aggressive. But the first time he talked to me, it was aggressive. After a second, because he basically noticed that I didn't know shit. He literally he we had a very brief conversation, but within that brief conversation, he realized I didn't know shit. He even asked me certain questions, and I was oblivious to it. And that motherfucker said, "Well, this is that. Well, I can't let you walk down the street with those laces on." That's his exact words.
Wow.
That's his exact words. And then I'm looking at, and then he said some shit to me. I guess telling me about the shit. And then I'm looking outside, and like I say, these niggas is just hanging out the store. That's what niggas do. They just at the store hanging out, which is probably why he came in there. They probably sent him in there when I went into the store. That's probably what happened. I don't know. I'm just this that part. I'm just assuming because the nigga came to the store and went directly to me, and then he ended up, like I say, I gave him the laces, and I walked off. And he asked me where I stay. That's what he did. So I say I stay right here. I'm like, I stay right here. Like it's like I was like right, literally, like not even that far from my house. So I don't know what it was about, like I say, but once that happened, that's when I start learning a little bit more and a little bit more, and then more and shit start happening as time passed. The school got shot up. The school got shot up for the first time. There was people walking around in a huge group doing clicks, jumping people, and it was getting bigger and bigger to the point where there was low staff. There was not enough staff to stop them from doing it, and they ended up shutting down the shit after the lunch period or whatever. They shut it down. They shut down the lunch period because a large group of the kids, like they like be like 20 deep walking around jumping people. And then when they jump somebody, that person joins them, and then they continue doing it again, and they call themselves doing some kind of click situation. And I was nervous as hell the whole time. They never approached me, but I seen them jump somebody else twice before they shut the shit down. They had did it for a couple days, but then I guess when it got real, real big, they realized I guess they needed to shut it down for a little bit, and then they sent all these notices to fucking to the parents and shit like that. And then for a minute, my grandma wouldn't let me go to school. I don't know if that was because of the school or because of her, but she wouldn't let me go to school for a little bit. But yeah, like I say, I didn't know. But after that, I knew, and I started learning more and more. And then that's when I started getting more comfortable, and I start going around the block up the street, and I learned, and then that experience when I left the block, when I would go to the next block and go up the street, that's when I really started learning more and more. Like I said, my son's mother was from Hoover for a smidget, but that's a whole nother story.
Do you want to know why this story pisses me off so much? What you're telling me?
Why?
It's because I did not have the luxury to be oblivious.
What do you mean?
Well, like I said, I'm not from LA, but
Yeah,
I've
you
gotten
had the luxury of being oblivious.
no. I got checked. I got my ass whooped. Niggas, I had to learn very quickly what to wear and what not to wear because motherfuckers were crazy. So the fact that you were in fucking where you were at and you're like, oh, I didn't get away with just, here's my shoelaces. Hell no.
Yeah, I deal with that. Like I say, when I got for the most part, I've always been built. Even then, I was a little built. I was just scary.
I didn't get
I
to get
didn't.
away with
Yeah,
shit.
even then, I was a little built, but I was scary. I didn't know a whole lot of shit. I was stronger than I knew back then. Back then I was real strong because I used to lift weights and or do push-ups and stuff for fun. I didn't realize it was for anything other than fun at the time. I just knew I liked the karate. So I wanted to look like John Claude Van Damme, you know.
That's fucking
I wanted
crazy.
to look like Bruce Lee. I was
That's
into that
fucking
shit.
crazy.
So
That's
we
fucking
just me and
crazy.
my
That doesn't even make sense
I
to me. And
hey, I was
I'm
a
not even
kid.
from there. Even as a kid, I'm not even from there. And I'm like, that's crazy.
When I say I was a kid, I was a real kid, and you know what? Probably also what humbled me too is like I say, my I used to get abused. I used to get my ass whipped. So that put me in a position of always trying not to piss people off too much. So I got real good at that. So maybe that helped too. I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't
Yeah.
know. That doesn't make any
I
sense to
only
me.
been pressed a few so many. I've only like I said, it's only been
No.
a few times.
No, I can't remember how many times I've been pressed.
When I was on
I
Crenshaw,
can't remember how many times I've been jumped.
when I was on Crenshaw at the bus stop, dude asked me where I was from, and I
Yes.
said no. I said nowhere, but he said something about what I had on. And I made a joke. I said because it was these females, it was two females half-ass naked at the bus that's standing at the bus stop too.
So it's like I've known about gangs my whole life. There's no way you grow up. I didn't grow up maybe in LA. I grew up in Pasadena, and I can go to Pasadena and still, people still know my dad's name to this day, and which helps me, walk through up and down there, But I'm just thinking to myself, it doesn't matter if you grew up in LA, Pasadena, the Bay Area, it doesn't matter. Still should have known about gays. I don't care. It's California. It's just like New York. It doesn't matter where you grew up in New York. You should know about certain things. Like I like saying doesn't make any sense, and what he's saying doesn't make any sense. I didn't grow up in L.A. Didn't know about gays. Nigga, you grew up in the Bay Area. I hate to get the bearer of bad news. That's California based. Like you should, if you grew up in California, you should know. Maybe if you grew up in Wisconsin, then okay. I'd agree. But you grew up in California.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you couldn't know about gays.
They kept, like I say, I mean, maybe it's because my mom had that breakdown and start hiding me everywhere. Maybe that helped. I don't know. But like for a long time, I had no clue. I had no.
But I just don't believe that the guy attacked you for your shoelaces was
really
he did. I'm not saying he did. I'm saying that there's no way he was gang affiliated.
Oh, he was.
No fucking way. Bro,
he was.
I'm sorry. Like anytime I got uncles that have told me stories about the bare minimum of
real fast. Real fast. James, you from LA, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Gage and Normandy. Now, do you know what park I'm referring to over there?
I mean,
not too far from the Slauson. So it's the only park.
I don't know about the parks over there. I know that's why I said I can get the Slauson because you're close to Normandy too.
Right. So okay, put it this way: this park, if you cut through this park to get to Slauson by it's like Slauson swap meet is about. You go catty corner, but it's not far from Slauson swap meet, bro. It's like a few blocks down from Slauson swap meet. It's right there. It's between. Okay, here's a better example. It's between Normandy and Vermont. The park. Okay, the park is between Normandy and Vermont.
Multiple chicks.
Hold on.
Hold on. He told you to take your shoelaces off, and he didn't take your shoes. He didn't rough you up. No way.
No.
That's why I'm saying he's not a gang affiliated.
Oh, I made it. But probably because I made it so easy for him. He, like I say, he pressed up against me, and I showed no resistance. I was oblivious to the whole shit. Because I didn't know shit. Just like you surprised that I don't know shit. He was surprised I didn't know shit either. I didn't know. You can clearly,
just like Jay said, you knew to take off your shoelaces without any hesitation. There's no way.
There was hesitation. There was hesitation. I'm like, what? And I'm like, well, I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know that I knew. Though. I knew because I knew what gangbanging.
If somebody came up to you and asked you something at your shoelaces for, I'm like, dude,
okay,
you're not doing my shoelaces. I don't care what you're telling me.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
No.
I knew gangbanging. I knew gangbanging was a thing, right? But I didn't know that. Okay, when I was a kid, I pretty much thought everything was for adults. So I thought gangbanging was for adults. I didn't think kids were gangbanging. I didn't think kids had anything to do with gangbanging. I knew that gang stuff existed, but I didn't know content. I didn't know enough about it to the point to where I didn't know that me walking down the street from my house to the store what was a different hood. I'm thinking,
But you
I
took your shoelaces off and gave them
I
to
took
him. If you
yes.
did not know this, you would have never have took your shoelaces off because you would have been oblivious.
We had a
Doesn't matter
like
how
I
much
said,
he would have said.
we had a conversation. I understood that it was about some gang banging shit, and my brother, rest in peace, died from that. That's all I knew. That's all my mom or anybody ever told me at the time is that my brother was killed
Okay,
by it. So that's the
okay,
only thing that went
okay,
on through my head.
okay. So how old were you when your brother died?
I was too young.
So
I
you
was
knew
too
about
young. I was a
that?
baby.
I'm
No,
done.
you're not. You're
I'm
not. You're
done.
not. You're not.
I'm
You're not.
done.
You're
Yep,
not
yep,
getting it.
yep. I'm done. All right, all
Okay.
right. You
You
want
can
to repeat
listen.
that
You
all for the rest of
listen.
the time?
You listen. You listen. Here's a perfect
No, no,
example.
no, 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 no.
You could go. You
I'm
could
done.
go to church
I'm done.
every Sunday. You go to church every Sunday and not know shit about the Bible. You could go to school every day and sit in English class every day and still get an F. You could go to math class, whatever. You could go in there every day and still get an F. You could be around something and be oblivious of it. It's possible. It's just, like you gotta take a dive into it. You gotta educate yourself about things. Until I educated myself, until I started understanding stuff and start talking to other people, and which is a form of education when it comes to that stuff. Then yeah, I knew about it. I knew of gangbang. I know, like for instance, these white folks around here, they probably know what gangbanging is, but they're not going to be able to move and operate how I do in LA. They're not going to know you can't wear this over here and you can't wear that over there. They're not going to know that. You got to get educated, right?
Well,
So it's the
some things.
same
Well,
thing.
wait, are you saying that you just don't pick things up naturally? Because there's things that you could just pick up naturally without being
I
educated.
didn't pick it up. Okay, when I say I was more focused on other shit, I was more focused on other shit growing up as a kid. Perfect example. My cousin. I'm not gonna say rest in peace because I don't like that nigga, but he passed away. He when with some I had a nervous breakdown, and he was there for me at that point. But we went to the gas station. Now, mind you, I'm old enough to know this at this time. He asked me to pump the gas. So I'm trying to figure it out. I'm pushing it, but it ain't doing nothing. Now I know now that you gotta, pull it a certain kind of way and get the gas pumping. At the time, I didn't know that. This nigga gets mad at me and gets on me. Yo, dad ain't never took you to get no. And I'm like, no, I don't have a fucking car. Nobody around me have a car, and the times I was around the car, I never once had to pump any gas. So no, I don't fucking know. Have I been around cars? Yes. Have I been in cars? Yes. But that don't mean I know how to fucking pump gas. So it's the same. It's the same shit. I didn't fucking know. Yeah, I mean, am I around it? Have I seen somebody pump gas before? Yeah. But when you just put it in there and push the little thing, it don't always work like that. Sometimes you gotta take it out and put it back in. Sometimes you gotta ease it up slow and put the little thing on it. I ain't know all that. I'm up here like, well, I'm pulling it, it ain't doing nothing. So when you could be around something and just not fucking know, it's possible. That's all I'm saying. Like I grew up different. When you say, "Oh, you just act like you brung up yourself," yeah, I pretty much did. I pretty much did. I learned everything on my own or through various arrangements of around different people as time went on, or in school or some shit. But like I say, certain shit that other motherfuckers might know or might feel people should know. If you don't experience that shit, or somebody don't show you or tell you, you don't fucking know. You know this thing exists, but you don't know about it. Like I say, when I go to LA, I know hey, I can't wear this red over here and walk around and get on the bus. Oh shit, I can't wear orange over here. Oh shit, I can't wear blue over here. I know that now, but there's plenty of people who know what gangbanging is and don't know that. All they know is red, and they'll probably walk around with a damn H hat on and say, oh, and not realizing that they own some shit, or going around with a New York hat on and not understanding that it means neighborhood. So you can know what that thing is, but not know what the fuck is going on. That's all I'm pointing out. I don't know.
I'll just say this last thing. I can agree, even just through my life, of like not understanding all the details, all the hats, where you're supposed to be at. Fair enough, because yeah, even there was a point in time in my life before I even really knew about gaming that there's a lot of stuff I didn't know, but I still knew about it. I still picked things up. I still was around this shit a little bit to like know what it was at least.
Again, at the time that I'm speaking of, I didn't know. That's not to say I didn't learn later, because obviously that's the whole point of what he said. He said the stuff I was talking about before, and he's saying it contradicts, and I said no, it doesn't contradict. It's just that at some point in my life I was oblivious to it, and then at some point in my life I wasn't.
I
We just got we just got
I
to.
know I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt because I know people don't believe me on some things, so I'm going to
Yeah,
believe you. I'm going to believe you. You know what? So
I
because like I
mean
said,
I've
I
always been an open book, bro. I had to learn that certain shit is personal and certain shit is embarrassing. I had to learn that shit because I used to be an open book. I just didn't give a fuck because I was always wanting to learn. And some stuff I had to learn that you can't tell everybody everything. I had to learn that.
well, yeah, we all have to learn that. That's normal.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, but to other people, that comes natural.
Huh?
So for other people, that comes natural. They don't tell it. They like, for instance, I'm pretty sure you've been around somebody who like, you keep our business in the house and don't tell our business and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Or don't tell business and this, that, and the third. Now, if you never had that conversation, you just talking, and you don't know that certain things need to be kept to yourself. So I grew up where I would say shit, and just be openly say shit, and not think it was a problem
Yeah, you want
for
to know
me to
what
openly say it.
yeah, you know what? You know the best way to learn, how I learned really quickly was, well, technically I got kicked. So normally you get punched.
Right.
Just boom.
I,
Like I said,
I
I like
look,
I said,
I learned a lot of shit on my own. That's all I'm
I did
saying.
too. I did too. But I mean,
Yeah.
okay. I like I said, I don't know. Like that's just. I mean, I guess. I mean, I did that. Like, yeah, I guess.